What is going on, guys? It's Tyler's Talking Sports. We are live.
Live.
Are you ready, T. Castle?
I am ready, brother. Episode 13.
Episode 13. We survived Knoxville. Here we are. If you haven't listened to any of our episodes prior to this, be sure to follow us on Spotify. Or if you don't like Spotify, we are on Apple. We're on all the major podcasting platforms. We also are on all social medias. We have a Facebook page, a TikTok, Instagram, a YouTube, you name it, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We're on that. I'm excited to get this episode going. This is episode 13. Will not be unlucky number 13. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah, a little bit later on the upload this week. Had to get my voice back. We'll go into what happened over this past weekend.
Yep.
But glad to have my voice back. This episode's titled A Trip to Knoxville. So you folks know what happened in Knoxville this weekend if you've been following us on college football. So we'll get into that here in just a little while. Like I said, today is 11/20. This will be going up on 11/21/2023. So Tuesday morning. So good morning to all you Tuesday listeners. Hope y'all had an awesome Monday. Should be a shorter week for you all. This week's also Thanksgiving.
Yep, Thanksgiving.
So as Hess announced on Facebook, I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but if you haven't, our next upload will not be this Thursday. It would actually be this Sunday. So we're just going to get back on the regular schedule, going back to Sunday. And then, of course, we'll have it up on Sunday night. We'll record Sunday night, have it up on Monday morning, and then back to the normal schedule next week. So, again, if you haven't checked us out, this is episode 13. Go back and listen to the past 12. You won't be disappointed.
That's right, man. Yep. We're excited about this, though, guys. We went to Neyland. If you don't know what Neyland is the home of the Tennessee Vols football team. Went to Knoxville. We spent a day down there, and it was a trip that I won't forget for a very, very long time. Probably my 7th or 8th time in Knoxville. I think I said it was my 7th. Holy crap, was it incredibly loud. And again, if you people don't know, this is your first time listening, I'm a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. My man T. Castle, huge Vols fan, Vol for life. The guy bleeds orange. He likes them in everything from golf, water polo, volleyball. He also likes the rowing team, which is actually one of the most exquisite rowing teams in the entire country. He's been a Vols fan forever. Here he is. We went down there, watched the Georgia Bulldogs play the Tennessee Vols in football, and it was an incredible atmosphere. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, before we get into the, talking about our trip, I just wanted to give it a shout out to one of our sponsors.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so if y'all have been listening, you know who I'm going to shout out here. I'm talking about Next Level Fitness Club in Lebanon, Virginia, at 1806 East Main Street, 24266. It's a 24/7 gym facility. They have certified personal trainers. They have classes if you want to get certified personal training with the classes. They have 24/7 tanning, pretty much any selectorized cardio, free weight, you name it, they got it, other than showers. But again, guys, follow them on Facebook, Instagram. You can even reach out on the website at www.nextlevelfitnessclub276.com. They sure would appreciate y'all reaching out. And again, that's at 1806 East Main Street, Lebanon, Virginia, 24266. Give them guys a follow.
Absolutely. Great gym. I've actually started going back myself. I've been there.
He has, folks.
I've been there on and off since Castle.
I check cameras.
Since Castle and them had a smaller version of the gym. Going to this one, hey, it just keeps getting better each time I'm in there. It's a great environment. All right, bud. You ready to talk about it?
Let's talk about this trip, baby.
Let's talk about it. Well, we got up early.
Yeah, we did actually. I was honestly, if y'all don't know me, I'm normally a later person. So, Hess says, hey, we're going to do the pod at 9 p.m. I'm going to show up at 9:30. It's just kind of normal. But we scheduled to leave at 7:10 from Hess's. I think we pulled out of your driveway at, 7:18?
I won't say 7:15. It was right on the
7:15. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah. It's one of my New Year's resolutions from this past year. I've definitely done better. I'll try to get better on our podcast times. It's a little, little streaky, but everything else seems to be doing better. But anyway, yeah, we left about 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. So super early. Got down to Neyland about 9:30, 10?
9:30-ish. Almost 10. Maybe right around 10.
Yeah, hung out there for a little while. Actually, got an interview.
Yep,
got to interview a Georgia fan. Yes, he was really close on the prediction after watching the clip back. I mean, he was super close. But yeah, got to do a clip there. Done some clips, some lives while he was there too. Got to go to the ball walk. Got to give Josh Heupel. a high five. So I haven't washed my hand ever since. It's this hand. Sorry, my
Oh,
left hand.
oh God.
Yeah, so gave Josh Heupel a high five. Saw Joe Milton. He's huge in person.
There he is, very big.
Yeah,
Big
he's
guy.
a very large human being.
He's a large unit.
Yes, I can see kind of why they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this guy should start. And then you watch him play.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was electric, man. They broke the decibel record while he was there, 137 decibels. It is the loudest ever of any college football stadium. I did not know that till today, till I sent you that stat. I knew it was the loudest in history for Tennessee, but I didn't realize it was the loudest of all time, which is pretty incredible. That first quarter, I mean, you want to go into that?
I mean, back to your whole decibel thing, y'all actually had the record prior to that, and then you all re-broke the record. You broke it.
Re-exceeded.
You broke it last year against Alabama. Then your one play of glory, you all decided to bring the house down. And as a Georgia fan, sitting there in front of all our seats were with a bunch of season ticket holders, so it was like all Tennessee fans, and then like myself in my red Georgia gear, and had a couple passive aggressive fans around us that were. Not really directly saying stuff to me, but they were saying stuff loud enough to try to get under my skin. But, I mean, that first play, handoff to Jalen Wright, and if you don't know, probably my favorite player on Tennessee Vols. I love Jalen Wright. I've been a big fan of his all year. I mean, I handed it off, and it was a great play call. I mean, it was Georgia's defense was going to the right side of the field. Y'all ran it to the left. The hole was there. Safety helped bid on the wide receivers on the right-hand or the left-hand side of the field, and it was over, man. I mean, he just ran off, and then it was like he caught that second gear. He was about to get hit, and then he caught that second gear, and it was a touchdown. And in 11 seconds, you are up 7-0. So, and it was loud, guys.
Place erupted. That's the loudest. I mean, I've been to like I don't know how many games, and that was definitely the loudest I've ever.
I was talking to.
We broke the record.
I was talking to my boss at work today. He's a big Tennessee fan. He was actually down there. They had tailgated from 7:00 all the way up till game time, and they were two rows from the end zone that Jalen Wright scored on. They were 2 rows up from the field.
Wow.
And he said, even today, he was talking about it. He made me tell everybody in the meeting how loud it was. I said it was just as loud. It was the loudest thing I've ever been to, and also the quietest venue I've ever been to. So,
yeah.
We'll get into more of that though. But I mean, as far as an environment, I mean, Tennessee fans, it don't matter if they're 0-90 or undefeated.
They'll show out. Fans show out.
They believe in their team.
Oh, absolutely.
But they do leave early. But
well, naturally, you got to think of these Vols fans. We've experienced this for years and years and years. So, when you're down 28 going into the third, I mean, it was at 20. Sorry, it was 28 going into the third, right? Or going into the fourth. So I mean, we already knew with this offense. This offense has been abysmal these past few games. It hasn't showed out other than the electric run play, and then we went away from that play till the third quarter, which makes no sense. But it's kind of just been the offense for the Vols this year. This is the lowest scoring offense in Josh Heupel's history.
Yeah,
I think they're averaging like 20. No, not even 21. I think it's 16 point something now.
Oh gosh. Oof.
Yeah, it's the lowest all time. Not even close. Like it's bad.
I did see today that y'all haven't threw a touchdown pass against Georgia in 2 years.
That sounds about right. But
which is crazy to think of. I mean, with Heupel's offense, but you didn't throw one last year with Hooker, and you didn't throw one this year. But I mean, that just goes back. I was watching a clip too. It was on the Georgia side of it when y'all are running through the tee, which is an incredible thing. If you've never seen that in person, it's just really cool to watch the band and do their formations. But Kirby's standing at the other opposite end zone, and it's loud. I mean, they're getting heckled by the student section and the band. Everybody's right there. I mean, they're getting heckled at. And Kirby looks at it and goes, "Hey guys, don't worry, I got you. Let's go eat." And I mean,
go ahead.
Other than that first play, I mean, I think I looked at you. I mean, you are ecstatic, every right to be. You were having a blast. I mean, y'all deserved every bit of that. I mean, if it would have been in Georgia, it'd been the same way, just the opposite.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I think I looked at you and said that might be a mistake because Kirby's going to light that defense up. And one more thing before you go into it, something I observed just while I was sitting there, because I was able to kind of take things in there at the beginning. Y'all were having your moment, being up 7-0. Then you held us to the field goal, and you're still up 7-3. Y'all got the lead. I was watching, and it probably has no meaning or anything. I'm not trying to look too much into it, but look over at Georgia's sideline. All the defense is sitting on the bench. They're all sitting there, and then the 4 guys that are going to go in and out of the game are up against with the coaches. And then you look at Tennessee's sideline, and they're in blotches. Like it reminded me like high school cafeteria. Like they're all over the place. And
Yeah.
again, y'all, it's a home game, so y'all got your whole roster there. It's an away game. Georgia only brings a traveling team, but it just showed a whole different level of discipline on what Kirby's got going on his sideline versus what's going on
Oh no,
the Vol
I picked
sideline.
up on that too. I think you pointed that out during the game, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, like I noticed that too. Yeah, hats off. I mean, that was a heck of a game. Peyton Manning, we got to see Peyton Manning again.
Yep.
Dolly Parton, that's the first time I've ever got to see Dolly.
Yep.
And I've been to Dollywood probably 50 times.
Right.
So that was cool. She's very, very small. A lot smaller than I thought she would be, honestly.
That's why Peyton had to hold her, keep from blowing away.
Yeah, her hair's bigger than she was, but
ain't that the only thing that's big on her.
Okay, yep, her feet. But yeah, it was a good time. I mean, we had a blast.
It was great. It was really good to see. And
I mean, even shout out to Caleb Johnson again for those tickets.
Absolutely. Shout out to Caleb for driving me and you down there and driving us back home. I mean, great. Yeah, it's appreciated, man.
What a guy.
Yes.
But yes, had a blast. Probably one of the funnest trips I've ever been on. Honestly, and even though we got destroyed, I still was positive attitude the whole time. Like, you would never guess that we just lost by 28. Now, if I was at the house, it might be different. I would probably been pretty upset, but I don't know. I think if you're a Vols fan like me, like, you're kind of to the point where you're just like, okay.
Well, I think too. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from any of the fans, you or any of them, but y'all came to realization. You came to realization where this season's at right now, and you've got a basketball team that I've said that's going to be a national championship contender, if not win the national championship. So you're kind of getting excited about another sport right now. Georgia's in there. Hey, this is Georgia's run right here for a national title. So it's just two different ends of the spectrum right now, and where one team's at, where one fan base is at. So, it is what it is. I guess I'm going to bring that question up. From what you've seen in person, do you think Georgia wins it all?
Absolutely. To come into Neyland to end a 14-game home win streak against that Vols. I know the Vols have been struggling here lately, but it's still a home game for them. This team does usually perform well, and to only lose by 28, that's a win for the Vols. I know it sounds crazy for me to say that, but it's true. You all beat the crap out of Ole Miss. You beat the crap out of Kentucky. So I was actually surprised that it was as close as it was. And I know we lost by 4 touchdowns, folks. Okay. But as a Tennessee fan, I was surprised it was actually that close. And I'm surprised that they held their own in the first quarter, honestly. But with that being said, yes, I do think Georgia is the favorite easily. That defense is legit. The offense has so many weapons. That offensive line is so good. They held Tennessee's defensive line back every third down. That's the thing people don't talk about with Georgia. I think they're number one in the SEC in third down conversions.
Yeah.
You know how it was? That place was electric. Third down came. Them super loud. Boom. Dead quiet right after.
Speaking of third, about third down efficiency, Georgia was 9 for 13 in that game on third down. And that place tough. Was absolutely incredibly loud. But I did notice, I was starting to watch some of that too. When Georgia broke the huddle or broke into the play that they were going to run on third down, they always looked to the sideline. So they always had 2 plays ready to go. And I think that helped them for whatever. And that shows just Beck's improvement throughout the year, where he's came and where he's gone, to be able to recognize the defense and make the right play changes. On the flip side of that, you all were 2 for 11 on third down. And
that's about right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That defense, your all's defense is legit. It's not the same Georgia defense that we've seen the past 2 years, but it's still national title.
It's a more team-oriented defense. It ain't all about just 2 or 3 players.
One thing, too, I'll say that y'all did very well. Penalties.
Yeah.
How many did you even have a penalty?
Georgia had 2 penalties for 15 yards.
That was a pretty clean game all the way around.
It was, and then they had 3 penalties for. And Tennessee had 3 penalties for 20 yards. So
that's probably their best game.
I think we had a false start and they called a holding on us, and then
they called a holding on us for that interception. That was not a holding. Yes, I do remember that.
That was actually the SEC actually reviewed that play and did say that was the correct call. Because he tugged on his jersey from behind for 4 yards.
Hey, it's over.
All right.
Let me have my moment. Gosh, just let me have my moment, okay? But anyway, yes, I do think Georgia is national title favorite, in my opinion.
Okay.
We'll see what happens this weekend with Michigan and Ohio State. I know we got that one to talk about. So, Dogs, number 1.
Dogs, number 1. All right, man. While we're on the this past week, again, thanks, Caleb Johnson, for everything you did, man. We appreciate it, getting us down there. Might be getting us the hook up on a future game here next. So I don't want to
Yep.
share that one, but there's a works for another game, not a Vols Georgia game, but maybe another game here. But let's move on to a game that was probably the upset of the weekend that I don't think we seen coming, or game day or anybody else. The JMU Appy State game.
Yeah, this game was going to be close. I think we said that in our pod. Like, you never want to schedule App State whenever your team's like contending for something or like opening up for the first game, and you pay them to come beat you. We've seen this happen at Michigan. We've seen this happen with Tennessee a couple years ago. They went to 2 overtimes. Luckily, Tennessee pulled it out. I think they beat Tech a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Their biggest win.
Correct me on that, but
I don't think it wasn't Tech they beat. They beat A&M. And Jimbo's first year.
They play Tech?
I don't remember if they have.
Well, anyway, App State, don't schedule them. Do not schedule them. They won this one 26-23.
I mean, it goes back to what you said, though. Their offense.
Yeah, 4 straight win. I have App State. I think their offense, I had it written down. Hang on. Let me see here.
It's ranked in the top 25.
Ranked 18th overall now.
Yeah.
I didn't write that stat down for this one. I thought I did, but I did not. But, they're good. Joey Aguilar, 28 for 46, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's the quarterback for App State. Absolute monster of a game. Shout out to that defense, too, for holding that goal line stand there. I don't know if you saw the highlights because we was at the game, but, that was incredible. I mean, just to keep him out of the end zone, that was a heck of a tackle. First loss for JMU. It does suck because game day was there for a 3rd time in history for them.
Yep.
But they do fall now to 10-1. Again, this game went to overtime. Jordan McLeod had another solid game, 27-46, 289, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. When I was going through his stats on both these teams, they were pretty much dead even. This was
very even
one heck of a football game. Total yards for JMU, they were held to 350. App State was held to 366. So pretty good defensive game from all the way around. I mean, 26-23, and you went to overtime. Pretty solid defensive game.
Yep.
JMU now ranked 18th. Is that correct? I think so. I think they dropped to 18th.
Yeah.
Or were they 18th before?
They were 18th. They're down to 25th now.
25th. Okay. Yeah, so 25th, they got Coastal Carolina coming up this Saturday. Yep. App State improves to 7-4. Like I said, they've won 4 straight, so they've gotten very hot here lately. They do play Georgia Southern. Should be another win for them, so they should finish out 8-4. JMU leads the SPC East with 6-1, followed by Coastal and App State at 5-2. So there still could be some contingencies, I do believe, on this last game. So definitely JMU needs to pull this one out and end up finishing 11-1. So we'll see what happens there. But hats off to JMU for a heck of a season, even though they're not going to make a bowl game. Even if they finish 11-1. That's a solid season.
Yeah, I mean, it just stinks they can't even play in their conference championship game. Like
that does suck. I'm not gonna lie, but hats off to them. I mean, Jordan McLeod. Hopefully, he's getting looked at by some people because he's very good. I think he's legit. So one of the better quarterbacks in the state of Virginia.
Speaking of state of Virginia, is JMU the best team in the state of Virginia?
I don't want to get into that just yet. I have that wrote down for.
All right. I was warming up.
Yeah, I don't want to jump.
I was just warming up. Didn't know if you was ready. But you was talking about game day being at JMU. Also, you didn't mention it. That was the biggest crowd in game day history, 26,000 people. So, holy crap, Harrisonburg. Y'all blow it out of the water on fall break. Hate that it come away with the win. That would have been great. But, again, I think the NCAA is stupid for their ruling on all that. And is what it is. I mean, it plays out now. The NCAA can say, well, see, now it don't matter, but still, it sucks.
26,000 people. That's almost the size of Russell County, by the way. So just take that into perspective, folks. I mean, I think Russell County last year, I don't know, I think it was like 30,000 or 31. I don't have the stats on that naturally, but it's somewhere around there for the county.
You don't have those stats?
It's somewhere around there. It dropped a little bit. Your grandpa should know.
I call him.
Yeah, call him real quick. But somewhere around that. But just imagine the entirety of Russell County watching College Game Day.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on to the game that I actually got to see the very, very end of. The Florida-Missouri game. What a game that was.
Yeah, I didn't expect this one to be as close as it was.
I didn't expect this one to be close. I kind of thought maybe Missouri would come into this game a little overhyped after their big win the weekend before, but Florida has been playing better down the stretch
Yeah.
here. But I didn't think it was going to be this close. But Missouri came out with a thicker kicker, and they ended up kicking the game-winning field goal. Hey, he goes by that name. That's actually his
I know.
that's his thing on freaking his social media. He's lived by it. But that game was one on third down. Stats wise, they were pretty much even, but Missouri converted 9 out of 16 third downs. Florida only converted 5. Total yards in that game, Florida had 500 yards, so there was no defense in this game. Missouri had 508. Brady Cook tore it up again with 331 yards passing. Rushing yards, Florida had a very sizable advantage in that one. They almost beat them over 100 more yards. They had 261 yards rushing. Missouri finished with 177. Time possession was about even. It was 33 minutes for Florida, 26 minutes, 27 minutes pretty much for Missouri. But it just came down to turnovers. Florida had 2 turnovers. They had a fumble lost and an interception thrown, and Missouri had no turnovers. And they got the ball at the end of the game and let it downfield. And here we are. They kick a game-winning field goal, and they go home happy with a 33-31 victory.
One guy you didn't mention there, 23 carries, Cody Schrader. Another
I didn't mention anybody but the kicker.
Yeah, 100-plus rushing yards again for him. He had 148 on the ground. Guy's unreal. Cannot be stopped. Luther Burden. This is Missouri's offense right here. You got Brady Cook, Cody Schrader, Luther Burden. That's pretty much their main guys. Luther Burden had 9 receptions, 158 yards. So there's their entire offense right there. Graham Mertz, another decent game for him. Like you said, he did have an interception, 14 for 21, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. No defense in this game. Surprised me with over that much. I guess the turnovers kind of helped with that too, with the over 500 yards for each. But it only being 33-31 final. This game was at Missouri.
Yep.
So like you said, Florida traveled really well this game. Florida has looked better. They do fall to 5-6. They do have to play Florida State this coming weekend. So this will be a must-win game for the Gators if they want to be bowl eligible. Luckily
Absolutely.
for them, Jordan Travis is out. He's ruled out for the rest of the season. Hess, let me ask you this. Does Florida make a bowl game?
Yeah.
You think they end up beating Florida State?
They're a whole lot better than 5-6. Their record doesn't show how good they are. Back to this game too. I noticed that Graham Mertz, he did have a good game, but Max Brown played a little bit in this game. He was 4 for 5 for 56 yards passing. He also had 7 rushes for 42 yards. So I didn't watch this game,
100
but
yards.
I'm guessing Mertz got hurt during the game at some point. So Max Brown came in. Another big thing, Monterell Johnson Jr. He had 12 carries for 85 yards and led him in rushing. Trevor Etienne, Travis Etienne's brother, he had 15 carries for 82 yards. So Florida's starting to find the running game, and that's something that Florida always has to have. It seems like they have to have that running game to develop that pass. It's starting to come together. It's a little too late, but I do think, not to try to look too far ahead and talk about next week or this weekend coming, but I do think Florida does make a bowl game.
I like that take. Possibly. I have to see who's. I don't know who's starting for Florida State now, since Travis is out. I don't know who started that last game. I can't remember who came in after he broke his leg. Can you look that up?
I can look that up.
While he's looking that up, folks, I'm going to give my last final thoughts on Missouri. Shout out to Missouri for an incredible season. Nobody picked them finishing second in the East. They were definitely a sleeper team this year. Looking to win 10 games in the regular season this year. They're going to finish out with Arkansas. They should win that game. This is the best record since 2014. In 2014, they went on to win the Citrus Bowl. I think we might see them in some type of similar bowl game, which is crazy to think because the last 2 years they were 6-7. They really turned it around this year. They got a great offense. Defense is very solid too. But that offensive 3, Cody Schrader, Luther Burden, Brady Cook is what's cooking. So hats off to Missouri, 10-win season probably. So very, very, very solid. Nobody saw that coming.
Looks like Florida State's going to go with Tate Rodemaker. He's a junior out of Valdosta, Georgia. He was a 4-star recruit. He's a junior sitting there. He had 376 yards passing and 5 touchdowns so far on the year. On the year, yeah. His QBR is only 44.2, but he hasn't played a lot. They did play the freshman. They did play another quarterback a little bit, but they only used mostly rushing stuff against him. But in this game, he went 13 for 23 for 217 yards, had a 56.5% completion rating, and was sacked 2 times with a QBR 36. So
Ouch.
it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him, but we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
This game is in Gainesville, though, so it's in the swamp.
That's a big advantage.
Yeah.
Hard place to play.
It is. All right, man. Let's continue down the stretch of games here. Get through this recap of Washington, Oregon State. Another really close game. I didn't see it being that close, but I didn't see that outcome either. I didn't predict Washington to win this one.
Yeah, I think I picked Washington because of Big Penix energy. I don't turn my head on Big Penix energy, But Washington squeaked by 22-20. It was a heck of a game. If you weren't watching the JMU game, I hope you watched this one because these two were probably the top 2 games of the weekend. Big Penix energy. Let me phrase that there. Only 13 for 28, 162 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. So probably one of his worst games, honestly, as far as stats. DJ, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. 15 for 31, 164 yards, and 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. I think that's the biggest difference maker in this game.
Oh, turnovers,
Yeah, 2 turnovers. Damian Martinez, talked about him quite a bit this podcast, quite a bit this season. One of the top running backs in the league, 26 carries, 123 rushing yards, and 2 TDs. So another solid game for him. Biggest surprising factor, too, for me this game was Washington's defense. This is the best they've looked probably since Oregon game.
Yeah.
So very, very good sign there for Washington. They do hold on, like I said. They held Oregon State to only 169 passing yards, 2 picks, and a fumble recovery. I forgot about that fumble recovery. So they had actually 3 turnovers. Looking ahead, Oregon State finishes with Oregon this weekend.
Big implications in that game.
Huge game.
For Bo Nix.
Yeah, all pressure on Oregon, hands down. Washington now moves into the 4th spot and finishes with Washington State. So they should, if everything goes well, they should win that game, and we should see them in the Pac-12 championship. So, yeah, what do you feel about Washington moving in that 4th spot over Florida State? Obviously, after Jordan Travis goes out, I get the committee on my side. I understand that.
Well,
so what's your thoughts?
That's just the AP poll itself. That's not the playoff rankings will come out till tomorrow.
But let's just be honest. I think they're going to 4th.
They say in their the consensus is they won't move them. That Florida State has a better strength of schedule. That they've been more consistent this year. They got a better defense. I did see a scenario. I mean, while we're talking about it, I did see a scenario that shows if Georgia loses to Alabama and Florida State wins, that both SEC schools miss the playoff, and you have Washington, Florida State, Ohio State, and Texas, because you can't put Bama in without putting Texas in. So
because they beat them. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So there's a scenario. There's a lot of weird stuff out there right now, but I'll be honest with you. I know Washington won this game, but that was not a good performance by them against a team that I think Oregon could come out and very well blow the freaking doors off of. Bo Nix is playing out of his mind right now. Michael Penix, 13 for 28, 162 yards, like you said, 2 touchdowns. If Bo Nix comes out of here and does, I don't know. I say Bo Nix goes out here and throws for 380 yards against these guys and 4 TDs. I don't think this game's any going to be close for Oregon and Oregon State. Penix lost the Heisman here. It's over for them. It don't matter what happens there. Bo Nix is your high. It'll be down between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels for the Heisman, but I don't want to get into that conversation just yet.
Jumping the gun tonight.
Oregon State, they played good. Defense played good. The turnovers, like you said, is what got them. Oregon State should have won this game. Just couldn't get over the hump. It was like they get close and then they'd lose it. Just like the first quarter, it was 9-7. Then the second quarter got away from them. I think Washington scored 13 points. They only scored 3. But the whole second half, Washington never seen the end zone. They never scored a point in the second half. So
right
now and then they're playing in the Apple Cup. Washington is next week against Washington State. That game's always competitive, and we do forget Washington State was ranked 11th at one point this year. I don't really know what happened there. I don't know if they got injuries or whatever to really follow it, but I mean that game could be interesting too. But Good game, though. Great game. Oregon State had a heck of a season. It's not over. They got a lot to fight for this upcoming game against Oregon. They win that game. They cause a lot more chaos in everybody in the
Yeah,
Heisman race and in the playoff race.
they're what, 8-3? So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they finished off 9-3, 8-4, nothing to hold your head down about, after a guy transfers from Clemson. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All
I
right.
like Oregon State. Kind of a fun team to watch.
Well, let's move on down to the Sunflower Showdown.
Yeah,
I,
boy.
I missed this one. I picked Kansas to win this one, but Kansas State. Why did I go with Kansas?
I don't know why you did. I don't know what you was thinking, and maybe you thought this was basketball. But fun fact for you: Kansas has not won this game since 1993. Actually, sorry, let me take that back. I almost messed up there. All the haters would have came after me. Since 1993, the Wildcats have dominated the series with a 26-4 record, including an active 14-year game-winning streak for Kansas State. So this was their 14th year in a row that they just beat Kansas, and they're 26-4 since '93. Yeah, I don't know why you picked Kansas, but most games are pretty close with Kansas State, so maybe that's why.
Well, it was at Kansas, and like you said, 14 straight games they've lost, so they were due to win.
Yeah, I like it, but they didn't.
But they didn't, and I guess maybe I did think it was basketball. I don't know. I don't know why I went with Kansas because they were down a quarterback, and I love Kansas State's quarterback. Another game where turnovers, I think, was the difference here. Kansas had 3 turnovers to Kansas State's 1 turnover, and from the looks of everything, the stats and the score, Kansas State just owned the second half.
Yeah, Kansas outgained Kansas State in this game, which is crazy. They outgained them 396 to 331. So I think that's something to take away from this. If you outgain your opponent, you should, at least – well, it's a close game. You should hopefully win. But Kansas State now moves up to 19th. Kansas State's a tough little team. Been good these past, 6-7 years?
Yeah, they're
Actually,
always consistent, very consistent.
Consistent, yeah, very solid. Kind of get overlooked a lot, too. This game wasn't that crazy. 31-27 final. But like I said, hats off to Kansas State for winning this one again for the 14th win in a row. So, yeah.
Will Howard, that was the difference, I think, though. Will Howard being a senior quarterback. He's a senior quarterback. Yeah. He's a leader. He had 1 interception, but he had 2 touchdowns. Cole Ballard, he was a freshman, never played in this game before. And Will Howard also had 18 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. Will Howard finished with 3 touchdowns on the game. So,
yeah, as far as touchdowns, 13 of 24, 165 passing yards.
He had better stats than Joe Milton.
Okay. All right. He also wasn't facing Georgia.
That's not the best defense. Iowa's got the best defense. Speaking of Iowa.
Oh, we just went there.
Let's go talk about Iowa. Iowa versus Illinois. What an incredible game this was. It was 2-0 at one point, and at that point the announcer said that's all Iowa needs. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I'm calling it right now. Book it. Iowa, it will be your Big Ten champion this year.
Wow.
No matter who it is they play.
Iowa over Michigan or
Ohio State.
So that's your 2 favorites right now on the East. And then you got the West side, which is Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Illinois had 280 total yards. Iowa had 281.
That's right. 1 yard.
Got to buy that 1 yard, baby.
That's right. That's all you need.
Pretty much dead even on all stats. Huge defensive game. Both of these programs have really good defense. Both teams had 14 first downs each.
Very even game. Very even game.
Very, very. Iowa missed a field goal at the end to only win by 2, so they should have went up by 3 there. So that's why the score was a little bit closer. But the Hawkeyes improved to 9-2 now. They play Nebraska this Friday. So we got a Friday night.
Ooh, Friday night
Black
game.
Friday. Yep. So pretty pumped about that. I like Nebraska. Nebraska's actually not terrible this year.
Nebraska's been playing better.
They have. I like seeing it. So we'll definitely be watching that one. That's going to should be a decent game, I think. But I had this question down. We'll be facing Michigan or Ohio State. Who do you have? But you already announced that you're going with Iowa to win the Big Ten championship. I'm not going to reveal mine until we go through.
I just think
I don't want to say.
I just think Iowa's. I think they're going to come in overlooked. Nobody's going to think nothing about them. They're thinking Michigan, Ohio State the whole way. Who knows what's happened with Harbaugh? They're saying he could be suspended all next year.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's already been talked about. At least half of next year is what they're saying. The Big Ten may continue the suspension. NCAA may add to it. It also talks about him joining the Raiders. So there's a lot of stuff going on there with Harbaugh. Ohio State don't impress me outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. They have a great defense. Love Ohio State's defense. Outside of that, they don't have nothing. They have nothing else outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. Iowa has a defense that can shut both of those teams down because Michigan, they can say what they want. That running back, whatever his name is, can't think of it right now. He's not that great. He's a one cut back. He can't do much. And JJ McCarthy's just a little fast little guy that runs around. He just gets lucky. So I think Ohio State has a better chance against Iowa. Michigan goes, they get their feelings hurt big time against Iowa.
Ooh, for all you TikTokers out there, I know we got a lot of Michigan fans listening to that on that TikTok. You about to get some hate if this clips.
I love it. I love it. Oh, what a clip.
I'll get my take here in a minute. I know we got Michigan, Ohio State coming up. So, yeah. Let's get into the next one, man.
Louisville went down to Miami and had all the Hokie fans cheering for Miami. Like, Louisville was just putting the Hokie fans through all kinds of stuff this year and made them cheer for the Miami Hurricanes. And Louisville ended up squeaking one out, like you said, with a first-year head coach.
Yeah, 38-31. How about that? First-year head coach coming in going, what, 10-1?
10-1.
10-1 right now. Yeah. Miami had this game. You was keeping us updated while I was watching the Tennessee game.
Yep.
Miami was leading big this whole game. Come back in the fourth for Louisville. They scored 15-3 in the fourth to take the lead and secure the win. Jack Plummer had a good game. 24 for 37, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. Tyler Van Dyke, he got the start again. Since that injury with Emory Williams. Emory Jones was for Florida. But yeah, Van Dyke got the start. He looked good coming back, too, from the injury. 24 for 39, 327 yards, 1 touchdown. Miami falls to 6-5 now. Should be 7-4 in football. Yeah, looking ahead, Louisville has University of Kentucky left. Kentucky's
Bluegrass Bowl.
Off. Yeah, Kentucky's fell off, though. So
Louisville wins that game.
Yeah, that game's not as hype as it was about 4 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, I got Louisville winning that too. I think we see Louisville go 11-1 here, and in my opinion, the favorite to win the ACC now.
They should be, absolutely should be. I mean, unless Florida State's quarterback comes out and shows that they don't miss a beat,
and he might.
Because there is a lot of talent outside of Jordan Travis on that team, but Jordan Travis was that leader, and again,
that's a big deal.
I hated to see it. I mean, when I seen it when we was on our way home, I hate seeing stuff like that happen to any kid, anybody on any team. I hate seeing that. But again, Louisville, what a year it's been for them. 10-1, first year head coach, tearing it up. Absolutely, that defense is really good. They're very consistent on offense. They don't make many mistakes. Hats off to Louisville going down to Miami and coming back and winning that game.
Yeah, it was a tough fought game. Like I said, they came back in the fourth too.
Yep.
So comeback win. Nice to see. Had some sick jerseys this year too. So if you're a Louisville fan, you definitely had your pick of the crop for jerseys. So I'm very jealous. Yeah, 10-1. Wow.
10-1.
Wow. Never saw it coming.
Now let's move up to the double M game.
Yes.
The Michigan versus Maryland game. And if this head coach cries one more time after getting a victory, I'm going to need him to never coach a football game again.
Hey, he's just passionate, man. Passionate about the game. Passionate about his fans.
He's probably crying because he's afraid he's about to get fired for stealing signs.
Nah. Michigan pulled this one out with the Terps. 31-24. McCarthy, terrible game, honestly. 12 for 23, 141 passing yards.
That's the Heisman winner.
1 INT. Definitely not the Heisman. I don't know who's saying that, but yeah, the Heisman favorite.
2 weeks ago, Vegas had him as the best odds to win the Heisman.
Well, me and you never picked him to be the Heisman favorite.
His negative 7 yards rushing looked good, too.
Yeah, he just all-around bad game. He should have put up big numbers against Maryland. I think when we go back and look at earlier in the season, Ohio State dominated the second half against Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their quarterback went off, and technically on paper he's worse than McCarthy. Tua's brother, Tulia
Tagovailoa.
Was 21 for 31, 247 yards, 2 interceptions, which hurt. He's been running into his entire career since he's been at Maryland, his turnovers. Heck of a quarterback, though. I think I'd like to see him make it to the league. I think he will. He just has no help whatsoever. Would have liked to see Maryland win this one just because it just shakes things up a little bit, secures Ohio State, and yeah, it'd been cool to see. Michigan defense is pretty good. They're still pretty good. I'm not going to lie about that. They held Maryland to only 15 yards rushing and 247 yards passing. So that's pretty stellar rush defense, even if it is Maryland. 15 yards against anybody's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this next one for Michigan. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. We'll get there. Let's go to the game that was a blowout for us for a lot of the game, and then all of a sudden it was like, holy crap! It became a football game. The Virginia Tech NC State game.
Yeah, Tech ran out of a little bit of gas there in the fourth. They scored 14. I think it was 14 unanswered, right? Just to make it even a game, like you said.
Yep.
And they fall to NC State 35-28 in Lane Stadium. So that's a tough home loss for that program. NC State now moves to 8-3, which is crazy. Nobody had NC State at 8-3. I think they're second or third. Third in the ACC behind UNC, and then
they're third behind Florida State and Louisville.
Florida State, Louisville.
You're talking about breaking it down. You're talking about breaking it down between Coastal and Atlantic. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're third, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess Steve Smith needs to take back his comment. They are not a basketball school. Being 8-3 in the ACC in football, that's pretty solid.
Well, Brennan Armstrong had an absolute incredible game. He couldn't be stopped. He was 18 for 26 for 203 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He also had 21 carries for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. He finished with 4 touchdowns. And not to get mistaken for Michael Penix, but Trent Pennick had 2 receptions for 38 yards and a touchdown. I just wanted to say that because his name's Pennick.
That sounds cool.
And then you had Kevin Contraception. That's what it said.
Kevin Constipation, what'd you say?
Contraception.
I like it. They got him, folks. They got him. Get this man some Pepto-Bismol. Let's go.
I actually said contraception.
I got you.
Okay. All right. Well, but yeah, another heartbreaking loss for Virginia Tech.
It's tough.
But Louisville let them down, or Miami let them down. So coming into that game, they already kind of knew. Well, maybe not. They probably started that game off thinking that Miami was going to win that game. So hate it for Tech fans. Now they got to go to Charlottesville, and it's a must-win game for them. It's going to be very emotional up there in Charlottesville, and Tech's got to win the game to make a bowl. So we'll see what happens. But what a great Week 12 it was. I mean, it was a lot of up and down. We got to experience the game in person. Fun weekend. We're moving into Week 13 though.
It's crazy.
But before we get there, there's a couple other things I want to talk about through Week 12. Go ahead. What you going to say?
Yeah, I just want to wrap up Virginia Tech real quick. If you start Drones earlier in the season, I think we are a C-Tech bowl eligible. He didn't start until 3-4 weeks in. I think earned a full-time starting job. So I think the Hokies would have already been bowl eligible. This team's been very streaky. They go to Boston College and absolutely dominate. They get killed at Louisville the week before. They have a home game. You think they're probably going to beat NC State. They didn't look too hot.
Yeah.
And now they travel on the road to UVA. So I don't know how the Hokies are going to do.
I don't either.
And UVA is no slouch. I mean, I know the record definitely doesn't show it, but they did beat UNC.
Yep.
So these past few games, they've definitely played ball.
Yep.
And they will come to play. This is a huge rivalry in Virginia. UVA VT, it's big hate.
Battle of the Commonwealth Cup.
Yep. So, I'm pumped for that one, actually. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'd like to see the Hokies be bowl eligible. I know UVA's already out. They're not going to be bowl eligible. So, I'd like to see the Hokies at least get that. So, We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. But while we're talking about the ACC, man, we've kind of touched base on it. The impacts of Jordan Travis's injury to Florida State, what do you think? How do you think it affects them?
Yeah, I kind of said it earlier. I'll touch on it again. But I think this moves Florida State out of the Final Four, regardless if they beat Florida. I think they look at that and they're like, well, they don't really have a starting QB. I know that's kind of biased, but they're probably thinking it deep down too. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's what happens. It's definitely a no-brainer if Florida State loses to Florida this coming weekend. If they win big and dominate against Florida, and then they win the ACC championship.
Yeah.
It's and then you have a bigger debate. But as of right now, I think Florida State moves out of the top 4.
I hate it for Jordan Travis. I mean, he was having an incredible year,
Oh yeah,
leading Florida State. I kind of do agree with you. I think Florida does win this weekend. I just don't see a new quarterback coming into that system and going into the swamp in their first game and being able to win. But hey, I don't know. Florida State's got a good team. That defense is really good. They have good talent around him. So I mean, anything's possible. But I do think I hate it for Jordan Travis. I hate it. I hate that this is how we're going to talk about Florida State not making the playoff because of a catastrophic injury like this. And he did announce that his career is over. He's not playing anymore at Florida State, so he will be going either on to the NFL or he may not play football again. I mean, I'm sure he'll get drafted, but it just sucks to go out that way.
Heck of a senior season. He was in Heisman talks all year. Really came Heisman talk toward the end of the season here, really projected. And Florida State, like you said, their defense is stellar. So, I mean, it's not over yet, but it's not looking too bright as it was. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, speaking of the Heisman race, spoke a little bit about it there. Who's your favorite right now today going into the final week of the regular season?
You mentioned him a minute ago, Bo Nix. He's easily my favorite at the minute. He's led his team to 10-1. Obviously, that loss to Washington. Again, if the kicker makes that field goal, we might be talking 11-0 with Bo Nix right now. And he had an incredible game that game too. I do think we do see Oregon win the Pac-12 somehow. I do think that happens. Just the way they're playing right now with Dan Lanning as a head coach. If you look at last game only, he was 24 of 29, 404 passing yards. 6 touchdowns in one half.
Yeah.
They had over 600 yards total offense in that game. He's 35 touchdowns on the year to only 2 INTs. He's the difference maker, and he's the best player on that team. He is what makes Oregon this year. So hats off to Bo Nix. If he wins this weekend, and like I said, if they somehow make it to the Pac-12 championship and they win that, yeah, easily.
Well, they will be in the Pac-12.
Stellar season.
They will be in the Pac-12 championship. It's a lock already. It's Washington versus Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, no matter what happens this weekend. But I'm going to go.
I'm saying for Heisman. If they lost, if he had a terrible game, then it's back up for debate.
I'm going. I like Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been playing really well. But I'm a big guy who is about who's the best. The Heisman should go to the best player in the country. I don't care what team he's on. I don't care if he's on an 0-10 team or if he's on a 10-0 team. And I don't believe there's a better player in the country right now than Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is threw for 3,577 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions on the year. And his last game, he decided to take Bo Nix's 6 touchdowns and up him 2 more. He had 8 touchdowns. He had 6 passing touchdowns. He was 25 for 30 for 413 yards, 6 touchdowns, had 10 carries for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels is playing out of his mind. And not only did he have the 413 yards, he spread that out between 7 receivers, and out of those 7, 3 of them had over 100 yards receiving. Granted, they were playing the Georgia State team, but that Georgia State team's defense was ranked in the top 50 in the NCAA this year. So they weren't playing a bad defense. But Jaden Daniels has been doing it all year. I think he's had 1 bad game, and that's it. And I think my vote right now.
He has sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think he has a stat like 4 touchdowns every game or something. It's something crazy.
Well, he broke Joe Burrow's record. He's broke almost every one of Joe Burrow's records so far, and he broke his single game touchdown record. But if I had a vote in it, which I don't, Jaden Daniels would be my Heisman Trophy winner for 2013 or 2023.
It's him and Nix in my top 2 right now.
Who's the 4th?
Like you said earlier.
Who's the 4th? 4 people get to go. 3 to 4 get to go every year. Who's your 4 people in New York? Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Who's the other 2?
Marvin Harrison.
Carson Beck?
Nah. Michael Penix.
I would have said Penix until
this last game. It's still not a terrible game. Still got to win.
You got to think though.
Depends on how these last couple games go, but God, you can't rule out Carson Beck. I don't know. I threw out Harrison just to give him a wide receiver, just give somebody else.
Well, Harrison's you take Harrison off Ohio State's team, then they're nothing. Yeah.
I would put him top 4.
Yeah,
So I'm
I mean,
leaving
I
him.
agree with Harrison.
That fourth spot can go, I don't know, either way. It could Carson Beck could, and it might. If you honestly, man, if you're thinking about it, Brock Bowers didn't get hurt this season. I think he's in the Heisman talks. If you look at his stats,
If you look at it right
um,
now, just for giggles here, Penix is your NCAA passing leader right now. And then it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Cameron Ward is number 5 in passing yards. Drake May is 6. Carson Beck is 7. And that's just passing.
just in
Passing.
passing
That's
yards.
passing
Yeah,
yards.
that's not completions and everything like that either.
Yeah, completion percentage, Bo Nix leads the NCAA in completion percentage, followed by Jacob Zanillo at UAB, J.J. McCarthy, Noah Fifita, which is probably the freshman of the year, Arizona's freshman quarterback.
Yep.
He has been absolutely unreal.
Good.
Graham Mertz is 5th in completion percentage, followed by Carson Beck in 6th. Jaden Daniels is 7th. Guy fell off the map this year. Spencer Radler. And where is
confidence with Radler? It's always been his thing.
Michael Penix is 21st in completion percentage.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. I'd go with those 4. That's my 4.
All right. I'm going to throw, just because I'm going to be a homer about it, I'm going to throw Beck in there. Get back-to-back years, have a Georgia guy there.
He deserves to be in talk.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm with it. He's been playing good. But college football rankings come out tomorrow. Do you see any changes in the top 4? Are you taking Florida State out, or are you going to leave them there and see what happens?
Taking Florida State out. They might leave it, but nah. If I was on the committee, I'd take them out. I put Washington in. Washington had a sound win, very sound win. Yeah, I'd put Washington in top 4.
Do I change anything? Can't change Georgia.
No.
Was Ohio State 2? Yeah, Ohio State was 2.
Yeah.
Ain't changing them. Michigan, leaving it 3. That 4th spot. You know what? Play devil's advocate. Put Texas in at 4.
Texas jumps.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not cause some chaos? Why not?
I like it.
Look ahead. Conference title games that are officially. I think all of them are locked down. They'll make nothing changes this week. Georgia, Alabama. Who wins that game?
Georgia.
ACC title. Florida State, Louisville. Pac-12 championship. Washington, Oregon. The only one that's not a lock, Big Ten championship, Iowa versus either Michigan or Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Interesting. That's the big ones. Named ACC, SEC, Pac-12, Big Ten, Big 12.
Texas.
Big 12, Texas, Oklahoma.
Texas.
That's
going to be a game.
Getting the revenge in those games. I like it.
I think they get revenge, yep.
All right, man.
Is Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, he's back.
He's back playing, so he'll be.
He's been playing the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And this question was brought up to us from one of our good buddies, Troy Moore. Appreciate you listening. I appreciate all the support you've been giving us. Troy graduated from Liberty, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, Troy's a great guy. Love Troy to death. He proposed a question to us since we are all from Virginia here, and I kind of hinted about it earlier in the beginning of this episode. Who is the best football program in the state of Virginia right now?
Right now. You want me to give my take first?
Yeah, go ahead and give your take.
Before this weekend, you and I both agreed that JMU is probably the best program in Virginia. After this weekend, I think that changes. Did lose to App State. App State, again, hats off to them. Very, very solid school. But I got to go with Liberty Flames, man. They're undefeated. They're going to win the CUSA conference. They're ranked 22nd nationally right now. Caden Saltier, ex-ball commit. He was a 4-star, came into Tennessee, got in a little bit of trouble, so he transferred out, went to Liberty. 2,409 passing yards this year, 28 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. Very, very solid numbers. He has an 84.1 QBR and 7th nationally overall in QBR rating. So very, 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 very good quarterback. He's only a sophomore as well. Liberty has the 5th overall nationally ranked offense and defense inside the top 50 at 44th. JMU is not even close to that number. They're 40th and 30th. Tech's nowhere near it as well. Their defense is up there, but their offense is 77th, I'm pretty sure. Everybody else in Virginia, I'm not even going to mention because they're not even close. So yeah, Liberty on paper and on obviously they're going to finish 12-0. So yeah, hats off to the Liberty Flames, baby.
Sure. Are they calling Liberty win the Conference USA Championship against New Mexico State?
Correct.
Okay. Well, this question was brought to us, and I kind of was like, all right, we'll talk about it. And I really did some research on it today. I was looking into it, kind of see where I was going to lean. And I know we kind of said JMU before this week. But after looking at it, you got to think Liberty did the same thing JMU is doing right now. They did the transition. They moved up. They transitioned into this. They also went through a coaching change with Hugh Freeze. Mm-hmm. Hugh Freeze kind of got them going. I mean, they have Malik Willis, who's actually playing in the NFL right now. They had some good talent come through there. Liberty has been the most consistent Virginia football program over the last 5 to 6 years consistently. And JMU is JMU's been good, but they're still moving up, and they haven't had the taste of D1 FBS football as much as Liberty has. And, I mean, you nailed it right there, some of the stats about some of the players there. But to go through the coaching change, they lost Hugh Freeze last year. And, I mean, a lot of people's like, oh, that's it. Liberty football, they had their moment. Back to mid-major football for them, And here they are. They're going to be 12-0. They're probably going to win Conference USA Championship. They're going to play in a pretty nice bowl. Sure they got a nice recruiting class coming in. I guess with me saying all that, Liberty right now is, if I'm looking to go to Virginia to play football, I want to go to Liberty. It's a great campus. They're putting money into that. That football stadium is absolutely beautiful. That campus is beautiful. It's in a great area.
Constantly growing.
Yep. Tuition's a little expensive. It's up to like $52,000 a semester right now. So it is private. But I do think Liberty, Troy, your Flames are the best football program in the state of Virginia right now.
Absolutely. I don't think we would have said that after the Hugh Freeze, after he went to Auburn. But here we are.
Here we are, man. I didn't think we'd say it either. I mean, I was one of them people who was like, oh, that's it. There's no way they can continue on this, and they've done nothing but actually probably be better this year than it was in Hugh Freeze's last year there.
Yeah. Caden Saltier is a difference maker.
I mean, he's all right. He's not really the best thing on that team right now. Their defense is actually pretty legit. He's had a lot of iffy kind of games. They've leaned on that run game a lot this year. Be great if Tennessee would have decided to keep him instead of keeping the other people that get in trouble. But he's a 4-star. They wanted the 5-star in there.
Oof.
So,
Ouch.
Anyway, let's move on though to the best games picked by Tyler Stalkin Sports coming into this rivalry week. This is rivalry weekend, the final weekend of college football before we get into conference championship games and bowl season. Number one game on the docket, Oregon versus Oregon State. Who you got, bud?
I like this take. I like that you put this one first. Going to be a close game. I do think it will be close. I know you said you're probably going to blow it out. But difference maker, Bo Nix. I got Oregon pulling this one out, 38-24.
I like it. This game's an 8:30 game on Fox. It is in Eugene. This is in the Duck Stadium. Oregon is a 13.5-point favorite. 62.5 is the over-under. I don't really see this game being close. Oregon's just playing on a whole different level right now, and it might be my bias toward Dan Lanning. I'm a big Dan Lanning fan. Bo Nix has won me over this year. I see Oregon winning this game 42-7. But let me go back before you say about time. Bo Nix did nothing but terrible football in the entire time he was in the SEC, and then he moved to Oregon and did better. But when he did play an SEC school, he looked like the same Bo Nix. So hopefully he draws a good luck here and doesn't have to play a SEC school again. But I think Bo Nix.
You're referring to last year when Georgia beat him 49-3, correct?
Just referring to when they played the team in the SEC last year.
Yeah, Georgia.
Whoever that would have been.
You wouldn't remember that. 49-3. Pretty sure it was the final. I remember that game. I was at your house. Yep.
I think we ended up watching something else.
We did, because that was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, it's gonna be a good. I mean, it's gonna be a fun game. It's a fun rivalry, but I personally don't see it being close. But this kind of weekend, this week, it could be a close game. But let's move on to the big game of the weekend. Probably the biggest one, has the most at stake. The Michigan versus Ohio State in the Big House. Who you got in this one, bud?
This can go either way. We say that every year. It's usually a very close game. Michigan is favored by less than a point.
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I want to go back to all the listeners out
Yep.
there. This is at 8:30. The Oregon State game is at 8:30 game Friday evening on
Ooh,
Fox.
it's Friday.
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't know it's playing Friday.
There's actually several Friday. There's a Thursday game, Ole Miss
Nice.
versus Mississippi State. That's always on Thursday. That's the Battle of the Egg Bowl.
Thanksgiving. Nice.
Iowa, Nebraska is on Friday. TCU, Oklahoma,
Mhm.
Missouri, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Penn State, Michigan State, and then Oregon State finish off the Friday slate at 8:30.
Nice.
So I didn't want to get people confused and be like turn on Saturday and be like, oh, where's this game? But anyway,
8:30 Friday. All right, thank you for that.
Yep.
Okay, Michigan, Ohio State. Give me a time.
It's a 12 o'clock kick, first game of the day on Saturday.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Again, Michigan go either way. They're favored by less than a point at the minute. This game is at Michigan. I think home field does help in this one, and Michigan's still a little peeved what's going on with the whole sign stealing and their coach. I do think having Harbaugh out, I know it hasn't really showed up yet, but I think it will be a little bit of a difference maker in this game. But I got Ohio State in this one in a nail biter, 28-27.
I like that. I actually work with one of the supervisors that works at my place. He's a big time Ohio State fan. His whole family's from Ohio. He's actually won't even say the word Michigan. Doesn't even like the letter M. He won't refer to him as Michigan. I mean, the Ohio State fans, they
take it serious.
They take it serious. He actually won't have anybody work under him that they are Michigan fans. He's been that way before.
Oh my!
Yeah, yeah. He had a new guy. There's a new guy came in wearing a Michigan hat, and he told him he had to take it off before he could finish out the day. I mean, that's Ohio State fans for you right there. But anyway, this game is in the big house. It's going to be rocking. It's the biggest stadium in college football. I'm not a fan of Michigan. Sign stealing, cheating or not, I'm not a fan of Harbaugh. They have been nothing but an absolute lucky team all year. They got their butt handed to them last year when they played at a good school. The year before that, they got their butt handed to them when they had Adrian Hutchinson when they played Georgia in the national title. Michigan does not impress me at all. They have no weapons on offense. Y'all can come at me and say what you want. J.J. McCarthy is nothing. Blake Corum, he's a hard-nosed runner, but their offensive line is what makes him actually look pretty good. Their defense is elite. I'll give them that. Ohio State, elite defense. But the one thing that Ohio State's got that Michigan doesn't got, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. And Kyle McCord can throw that thing up and know Marvin Harrison's going to be there to get it. With that being said, this game is going to put Tyler Castle to sleep. I was going to be sitting here and saying this is our kind of football. This final score of this game is going to be 13-10 Ohio State.
Oh, God, I hope not. I want a high-scoring game, but I agree. It will be a lower-scoring game. I did go 28-27 just to try to get benefit of the doubt for Harrison Jr. Because I think he's going to have a heyday this game.
If you get that 27-28 score, you're hitting the over-under. Over-under is 46.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, should be a good game.
All right, now let's move down south. Let's move down to the Iron Bowl. Who you got in this one?
Bama big. Auburn just came off an absolute beating of 31-10 to New Mexico State.
Which is who
Auburn team.
Liberty plays.
Correct. I don't see Auburn pulling this one off against Bama. Bama's been humming these last 8 weeks. Give me Bama.
Giving you Bama.
Let me give you a score. Sorry. Let's go Bama 31. Auburn 10.
All right. I like it. This game is in Jordan-Hare, which is in Auburn. Alabama's a 14.5-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. This game reminds me a lot of a couple years ago. Can't remember exactly the number, but you talked about it a couple weeks ago. I texted you. I said, do you remember that time we was at the local pizza place?
Football.
Yep, we was at Pizza Town. And
Pizza Town.
Shout out to Carmaine and his Pizza Town. But we were there and we watched Alabama kick the field goal, miss it, and Auburn take it all the way back and win the game, 109-yard return to win the game.
That was incredible.
This game's kind of setting up like it. Nobody talks about Auburn. Everybody's kind of high on Bama. Bama was coming into that game that year really high up. They were doing good, playing good football. Auburn was way down. They were coming downhill. With that being said, I do think Alabama pulls this out. I think this is a lot closer than people are going to think. I think Alabama fans are going to be really, really worried coming into this. But it doesn't matter if it's a close game or not. Bama's still a really good team, and nobody needs to overlook them. But I think Alabama wins this game 24-21.
Ooh, close. 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Let's move over to the Sunshine State in the battle of the two Floridas. Florida versus Florida State. When we did this, everything was coming up. This game was going to had a little bit more to it, especially with Jordan Travis being there. I hate Jordan Travis is not there because I feel like me and you both are going one way with this one just because of that. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Florida's going to pull it out and become bowl eligible. This game is at home. Even if Jordan Travis is playing, that's a hard place to play. Something about the swamp always gets players, it feels like. So I like Florida in this one. It's going to be a low-scoring game, I do believe. I think defenses will play a big role. Yeah, I like Florida in this one for 24-21. I think very, very close game.
I like that. I think if Florida State comes in this game very emotional, I think emotions are going to be real high. I still think they will come into this fourth. I don't see the committee dropping them out, so I feel like they still have that going for them. It's always like Kirby says in a lot of these programs, next man up mentality. It's time for somebody else to step up in Jordan Travis's shoes. I don't know if Jordan Travis will be there or not, but like he said in his statement, the job's not finished. He might be done, but the job's not finished. And I know last week I kind of hinted that I think Florida can win this game, and I think I even said Florida becomes bowl eligible, and that was with Jordan Travis. Right now, I'm going to go Florida State in this game, 27-17 Florida State final.
Oh, you just switched. Earlier you said Florida. Now you go Florida State. I like it.
I did. There's something, I don't know. I just feel like Florida State's going to come into this game to try to prove that, hey, we're not just a one-man team. And I think I think Jordan Travis will have something to do with that by speaking to this team and getting them motivated to win this game. And
Florida State defense will have to put together probably their best game.
And I personally, put the hatred out there. I don't want to see Florida be bowl eligible. I want to see them be. I want to see the fans cry and asking for the coach to be fired because it's Florida. Boo Florida.
Wow, I can't believe you'd say that. Me as a Tennessee fan would never say that.
You as a Tennessee fan would never say that. You know why? You know why? Because you Tennessee fans have more dignity and respect for the SEC than us Chihuahuas that bark at people going down the street in Knoxville.
Obnoxious.
God, bunch of Georgia fans barking at people.
Ridiculous. Barking at people, yelling in their face.
That was a Vols fan.
No, I saw a Georgia fan yell back in his face at a Vols fan. That's what I saw. I don't know what you saw, but that's what I saw.
He scared me.
Ridiculous. Man,
he scared
me.
Okay.
You scared me.
Just to get some context to that story, guys, we were walking through the concourse just trying to kill some time before the game started, trying to find food.
Concourse, nice.
Trying to find some food and everything. And we're just walking and talking, and all of a sudden, this Vols fan out of absolute nowhere got right about my nose. Like I could have kissed this dude and screamed with everything in him at my face. And my instinct was, okay, I'm scared, but I screamed right back just as loud, like instantly, like super loud. Everybody in the area thought somebody got shot. It was really a bad little scene there. That was it. That's all that happened. So it happens. Fans are weird. But
yeah.
Got anything else you want to say? Is there another game that you want to talk about on this rivalry week coming up with college football? Is there nothing else you want to say anything about?
Now let's wrap up college football and move on to
college basketball. And you know what?
College basketball.
We're going to Hawaii.
We're going to Maui.
Well, we were being Maui, but it burned to the ground, so we're actually in Manamanu, where Hawaii University is.
Yeah, I think I read something. This is their 30th year.
Yes. 40th.
The Maui Invitational.
40th annual.
Or 40th year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're already planning for 41 next year.
Yep.
Definitely probably their best classes of teams that they've had in this conference last year. I'm pretty sure Tennessee won this tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
This has been the best Maui Invitational class they've had probably in the last 6 years. This is a really good group of teams.
It's good. But yeah, let's start off top with the Vols. They played Syracuse today. Vols come into this ranked 7th nationally. Very deep team. Got good depth. Got Vescovi, 5-year senior. Also got Josiah James Jordan, also 5-year senior. Connect. Dalton Connect. Do not forget that name. Dude's a baller. I think he finished with 17 points again this game.
He had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, and 1 foul.
He's very good. He can shoot. He plays great D. The actual reason he came to Tennessee was to improve his defense under Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes, since 2017, is the leading SEC coach in wins. Just wanting to let you know that. What?
Continue.
What are you laughing at?
Not you. Okay, I was going through y'all's roster, and I got to Jemiah. I read Jemiah Nutsack.
Oh.
Instead of Mash Sack.
It's okay.
Musack.
I was like, what did I do?
Or Musack.
I was just talking about Rick Barnes, baby.
I know. I love Rick Barnes.
Yeah, how could you not?
Good coach.
Defensive mind coach.
Great coach.
But yeah, I think the Vols, you mentioned this earlier in a couple podcasts back that, they're your favorite to win it all. I'd have to agree with that. They're very deep. They got the depth. They got great defensive team. The biggest thing that's going to have to carry them is, of course, their offense. But this is probably the best offensive team they've had ever under Rick Barnes. So, excited to see. They will face. Want to get into the next game?
Well, hold on.
Oh, you got some stats here you want to talk about?
Well, I like to talk about.
You want to talk about Syracuse?
Well, I like to talk about Josiah Jordan James, who is my favorite player on this team. He's a senior. This team's loaded. The Tennessee Vols are loaded with
fifth year.
This team, I don't care if he's fifth year. I don't care if he's a fourth year. He's probably a fifth year because he's going to UT. I don't care. He's 6'6", 224 pounds. He's out of Charleston, South Carolina. This guy's literally, I think, I know you talked about Connect or whatever his name is, but Josiah James is actually going to be the X factor for this team. He played 34 minutes in this game. He's literally he is the leader of this team, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far in this year. I could be wrong. I don't follow UT basketball. I don't follow them recruiting-wise or anything like that. I do know Rick Barnes is a great coach, but I think this guy is – you got to have good guards, but you got to have good senior leadership, and that's what Tennessee's got this year. You're talking about them being deep. This team's loaded with experience. They have a coach that's been there. Y'all made it to the Final Four last year? Or Elite Eight? Sweet 16. Anyway, that team last year was really good. And
beat Duke last year.
But like you said, we're going to talk about Syracuse in this game. It was being you talked about today. Very weird to not see Jim Boeheim on the sideline for Syracuse. Me and you, I will say it, me and you were closet Syracuse fans probably for years.
Carmelo.
Because of Melo. We loved Carmelo coming out of Oak Hill and went to Syracuse, but we still followed him back in the Gary McNamara, Johnny Flynn years. I mean, that was some great basketball. But Jim Boeheim was just – I love Jim Boeheim. That zone of his was incredible. Syracuse didn't play bad in this game.
No.
They played good, but, I mean, Tennessee, the leadership and the depth really just pulled away there at the end of the game. And Tennessee will advance into this game, and they will play the winner, which this game did go final before we started recording. I believe they will play the final. Wait, hold on.
They did. They will. I got you. They're playing Gonzaga, I'm pretty sure.
They play Gonzaga?
Yeah, Gonzaga won by 10, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Let me double check.
Gonzaga did win. No, Purdue won by 10. Purdue won 73.
Purdue won by 10. Okay.
Purdue won by 10, but then that means
that stat while I was away. They'll face Purdue then. Yeah. So we'll face Purdue, and Purdue is ranked second? Yeah, second. So this is going to be a heck of a game.
It will be a heck of a game. But anyway, let's talk about
tomorrow night.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Purdue Gonzaga game. Game 1 was Tennessee. The winner.
Wednesday, maybe.
Yeah.
It might be tomorrow.
No, it is November 21st. It's tomorrow. They play tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Sorry, guys. This bracket's weird where it's got the winners, losers bracket, so I'm trying to follow it. It all starts in the middle and spreads out. But, yes, it is Tennessee will advance. They play tomorrow at 3 o'clock against Purdue, who has probably the most dominant big man in the country.
Yeah, Purdue's tough. They're always tough. Gonzaga's tough too. So solid win by them by 10 points. I didn't get to watch this game. I actually had to be away from the TV for a minute. So, but back to Syracuse real quick. I just want to give the viewers a fun fact here. The last time we saw Jim Boeheim not be on the court for Syracuse was before 1975, where gas was 57 cents, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, 57.
57 cents was the price of gasoline. So this was very, very weird to see on the sidelines. I even texted Hess and told him it just didn't feel right not seeing Boeheim on the side. So yeah, hats off to Syracuse. They're a tough little squad. They're three. I think they fall to 3-1 now.
Yeah.
They lost a very deep Tennessee team, but Syracuse could be maybe a sleeper team in ACC. Maybe.
Maybe
So,
they're young. They're young.
Maybe we'll see what happens. ACC is very very tough this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, good game. That was a very good game. Yeah, but let's move to Purdue and Gonzaga.
Yes, number 2 Purdue versus number 11 Gonzaga. This game was played at 5 o'clock Monday evening. Purdue ended up winning this game 73-63. They just pulled away. They absolutely dominated that second half. They had 43 points to Gonzaga's 28. Zach Edey, he had 25 points, 14 rebounds. 9 of those were defensive rebounds. 5 of those were offensive rebounds. He had 3 blocks. Only had 1 turnover. But another name I want to throw out there for Purdue, because everybody talks about Zach Edey. I want to talk about sophomore guard Braden Smith. This dude's averaging 11.7 points a game, 6 rebounds, 8.3 assists, and he's shooting 50% from the field this year. Again, goes back to good guard play. A team that has a big man as dominant as him and good guard play are usually going to be dominant. And this is going to be an absolute amazing game. Like, I'm gonna have to find a way to watch this game at work tomorrow between Tennessee and Tennessee and Purdue. And that's gonna be a heck of a game. Gonzaga moves into the losers bracket, which means they play tomorrow morning at 9:30 against Syracuse.
Interesting.
Yep. So, and then let's continue talking about the games in the Maui Invitational right now. Actually, this game's it's final. Kansas beat Chaminade 83-56. Chaminade's in this every year because they play in Hawaii. They're the local team there.
It's so nice to put Kansas on them first.
I know, right? Kansas is
unreal.
Good team, real good team. Let's see, and then coming up at 11:30 tonight. So actually, this game starts
in 28 minutes.
Yeah, UCLA versus Marquette. That game could actually be a pretty good game.
Ooh.
That'll be very interesting to see how that game turns out. They will play the winner of that game plays Kansas. The loser plays Chaminade.
Man, what a bracket!
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Marquette on that one. This is a good bracket. This is probably the best one I've seen since they had 1 year. They had Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, USC,
Michigan State.
I think it was Michigan State was in. That was probably one of the best ones, and that was way back, like when Kevin Love was at UCLA. Like, I'm talking like way back there. I remember that.
Yeah.
One more game I want to talk about that happened. I didn't put it down on the thing, but I didn't realize it was playing today. I overlooked it. Number 5 UConn played number 15 Texas. UConn won that game.
UConn's 5th?
Yeah, UConn's 5th.
Wow.
They won 81-71 against Texas at Texas.
It's old UConn days then.
Yeah, I mean, UConn, they're a good team. I mean, they're led by I don't even know how to say this dude's name. Caravan. He had 20 points for them in this game. Then
they were good last year, weren't they?
They were good last year. They shot 47% from the field in that game against Texas. Texas owned them on 3 points. But here's the reason UConn won this game was rebounding. They out-rebounded Texas 40-29. This game was played in Madison Square Garden. I think this is another tournament. I don't think it's just – it is. It's the SAATVA Empire Classic. I don't want to say the name wrong, but it's another tournament. But I think it's your 2 best teams in that tournament right there. And UConn's another team to watch out for this year. That's a sleeper Final Four team right there for sure. But let's move on.
I like that team.
Let's move on to a game that is actually Thursday evening at 5:30. USC versus Seton Hall.
Yeah. Seton Hall is always tough in basketball.
Yes, always.
They are 4-0 right now. USC just came off that loss to UC Irvine. Bronny's still out. They don't know when he's going to come back. He's still questionable. Don't sleep on Seton Hall. I'm going to pick Seton Hall in this one to give USC their second loss of the season.
I like that pick. This game is in it's in San Diego, California. So, this is part of the Randy Children's Invitational. This is another tournament. This is the best time for basketball right now. All these tournaments. Speaking of Bronny, spoke about Bronny James. That is LeBron James' son. He had cardiac arrest, which was a very scary thing earlier in the off season. He did participate in his first warm-ups of the entire time he's been at USC. He participated in pregame warm-ups before the Brown game, which was Tuesday night or Monday night. Or no, sorry, Saturday night. Sorry, I got my days wrong. So that's a big step, and I think LeBron, and people said he's got one more evaluation coming up, and that'll determine if he's able to play. LeBron's saying he's really close to coming back, so it's looking like maybe around Christmas time we might be able to see Bronny play, which would be great. I'm going to
Be
also
awesome.
go with you on that, though. Seton Hall is always a good team, and I'm going to go with Seton Hall on that one to give a USC their second loss on the season. Seton Hall moved to 5-0.
Oof. Be a tough start for
It
USC.
would be a tough start. And another big game, which is to a team that's kind of been a disappointment, but has a lot of talent. At 4:00 on Fox, you have the Arizona Wildcats, number 3 Arizona Wildcats versus the number 21 Michigan State Spartans. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm picking Arizona in this one. Michigan State's had a very, very tough start. I mean, start of the season. You have to be. I mean, just look at who they play. They play JMU, lost opening game. Then I think they won 2 in a row, maybe.
They
After
beat
that,
USI 74-51. Then they lost to Duke.
okay, Duke was there at the end. Okay, so they're 3-2. They did lose to Duke pretty handily. They came back, I think, within 3 or 5 there against the Duke game, but then Duke pulled away at the end. Tom Izzo, never sleep on Izzo. Izzo's a great coach. I do think they will have their hands full with Arizona, though. Arizona came into Cameron Indoor Stadium, beat Duke pretty handily.
78-73.
Yeah, Keyshawn Johnson, very, very good for Arizona. 14 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. I like Arizona in this matchup. Arizona is a very, very good team.
Arizona is a very good team, and congrats to them on doing so well after the whole Sean Miller stuff with recruiting violations and everything. I mean, they got some talent on that team. You mentioned that guy. There's another one, Kalen Boswell. He's averaging 13.8.
They have a guy come off the bench too, Caleb Jennings, maybe.
Caleb Jennings from Richlands? Caleb Jennings?
Maybe. What was the last guy you just said?
Kalen Boswell, sophomore guard. I hear that typing. I like that, doing that research.
Yeah, I can't remember. I read something. Might be thinking of Duke. I can't remember.
But I'm with you on this. Arizona's just a really all-around good team this year. That's probably my second favorite team to be a national. I think you could look at the Arizona-Tennessee national title game. Arizona's really good this year.
Oh,
very good defense.
Caleb Love. That's his name.
Oh, Caleb Love out of UNC. Transfer from UNC.
Yeah, he's on Arizona.
Yeah. He waved bye to the Duke crowd when they beat him.
Caleb Foster is who I was thinking on Duke. Okay, I didn't want to mess that up.
Yeah, Caleb Love. He transferred from UNC to Arizona.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, he was actually a 5-star. He was the number 3 recruit for UNC 2 years ago out of the recruiting class. Arizona's just deep. Arizona's good. They're a lot like Tennessee. I will say I think Arizona has a slightly better defense than Tennessee, but Tennessee's got a better offense. But Arizona's a good team. I think Arizona wins this game. I think it's close. I think Tom Izzo and Michigan State make it close, but I do think Arizona wins this game because they're better down low. I think they out-rebound Michigan State, and that'll be the X factor in that one. Guys, we're just touching base on college basketball. It's getting going. There's a lot going on between that and college football. I'm enjoying covering college basketball. I do want to talk about a upset that happened. Wisconsin upset UVA 65-41 tonight.
Holy crap!
Yeah, they destroyed them. And Kentucky had a barn burner. They played St. Joe's. They went to overtime against them and won 96-88.
St. Joe's or St. Jose?
It's St. Joseph's.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
St. Joseph's 3-2. St. Joseph's. They went to overtime in that game. So Kentucky struggling again. Colorado won 64-59 over Richmond, and the UCLA game's getting ready to tip off here in a little bit. That's all for today. If y'all are listening, tomorrow will be Tuesday. Some basketball games to look out for, or the Maui games that's going on. To all the Duke fans out there, they play LaSalle. LaSalle's not a team to sleep on. They're 4-0 coming into this year. This game is on ACC Network at 7 o'clock tomorrow, and JMU plays the Southern Illinois University Salukis. That's about 2 undefeated teams on the CBS Sports Network tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if you're not watching the tournaments, not watching the Maui Invitational, or you've already watched the good games and you want to watch something tomorrow night, that's two good games that'll be fun to watch. Man, we're done with the college sports. Let's head over to the NFL Week 11 recap. We'll fly through these things right here real fast.
Yeah, let's run through them fast.
Let's go through them real fast. All right, that's NFL Week 11. Let's move on to the MLB. No, I'm just kidding. We'll start with last night's game. Denver Broncos versus the Minnesota Vikings.
What a game.
What a game.
Great game. Hats off, Russell Wilson.
Hats off to Russell Wilson, but
finish.
I want to take a moment, though, and just say what Josh Dobbs is doing with Minnesota. First off, hold on, rewind. I sent you the video of it. I knew what it should have been. Kareem Jackson has been suspended again for his hit on Josh Dobbs. That is the second time this year he's been suspended. I think it was a two-game suspension. He was suspended 4 games earlier than the year. This is 2 games. So that's 6 games he's been suspended for illegal hits. The guy's got to learn. I don't think Kareem Jackson was trying to hurt anybody there, but the dude's going for that big hit. You can't do that. And I was worried that Dobbs wasn't going to get up from that because it was a vicious hit. But why in the God's name do you throw a pitch out to your quarterback? I just line him up to get killed one way or the other. But hey, Dobbs looked good. Dobbs looked good last night. I mean, he's still learning.
A couple turnovers,
but he was trying to force it, and he's trying to make the play.
He was trying to do everything good. I mean, y'all ended the Vikings. I didn't realize that they had the best winning streak in the league.
Yeah, 5 games. Dobbs is going for his third straight. Yep.
Yeah,
now
I thought that was very impressive.
Now Denver is leading the NFL in most active winning streak. I thought it was cool.
5. Hats off, Sean Payton.
I thought it was cool though to see Josh Dobbs' parents there. I was worried. 5 field goals is all we had there,
yeah.
And then Cortland.
I was worried about y'all too.
Cortland Sutton, just throw it to him; he'll catch it. Excuse me, guys. While we were recording, we went on. I know you got it on. The Monday night football game. When we started, it was 17-7 Chiefs, and now it is 21-17 Eagles. With a minute.
21-17 Eagles, but I'm pretty sure Chiefs have the ball on their drive.
They do have. They're on the Kansas City's 49-yard line with a minute and 56 seconds left. But
yeah, I had my prediction for this one before it ended. I had the Eagles winning this one 31-28, so it looked like I might have been overshot a little bit.
Yeah. I had the Eagles winning this one, too. I thought it would be close, 24-21. Looks like it might be kind of that. Let's move on, though, to the Browns versus the Steelers. I did not really see this coming with DTR at quarterback for the Browns, but what do you think, bud?
Steelers have no offense. Kenny Pickett needs to be on his way out. Najee Harris was pissed after this game. I don't know if you saw that, but he said he's tired of this crap, and I'll keep it PG. Steelers are only averaging 0.4 points per minute of possession, which ranks for worst in the NFL. So my question to you is, who should they pursue at QB?
I'm the Steelers. You're sitting there with a good, with a good record. So you can't really look at the draft. You got to go toward free agency. And let me tell you somebody if I'm the Steelers, I go after.
Let's hear it.
Kirk Cousins.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even after an injury?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if I agree with that take. Yeah, I heard that. What was that?
I think my wife's watching this Chiefs game.
Oh. It sounded like a demon on my side.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Trying to come in my headphones.
Well, my
here.
update on the thing here said Patrick Mahomes incomplete deep left to Martez Valdez-Scantling. So.
Hang on, I'll tell you what happened. Oh, he had him by step, and
he dropped it.
Should have been a touchdown. Should have been a touchdown.
That's why she did that.
Gotcha.
Shout out to my wife trying to be a passionate fan.
Yeah, offense on Steelers, terrible. Defense is amazing. Mike Tomlin got some issues on that offensive side. They're going to have to do something. Fan base is pissed.
If you don't go for Kirk Cousins.
Endo Hooker. Why not?
The Lions ain't going to get rid of him, though. It's a solid backup.
We already messed up with Josh Dobbs, so go back after another Tennessee.
Did you?
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs is 2-11 in his career as a starter.
So, better than Pickett. He's better than Pickett.
You know what?
How about Najee Harris getting bumped back to back two on the Steelers? You know that?
Yeah, I know. He ain't been running good. He ain't been that good this year.
No. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I had to think about that, the whole Steelers quarterback situation. I will say I have been against Pickett the entire time you've had him. So,
you have?
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
I try to give a dude the benefit of a doubt.
I got it. I know what you do. You go get Justin Fields.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Get Justin Fields. He fit that offense, a mobile quarteback. The dude is.
That'd be nice.
He had 186 yards passing this week
good.
And 120 yards rushing.
100 plus.
Yes.
Yeah, rushing.
Woo!
And they still lost.
He looked good in Pittsburgh College.
That would look nice.
Ooh.
I'd take that.
That just hit me. But yeah.
I like that.
The Browns won a game, field goal, walk-off field goal. Browns defense is legit.
Yeah. Yeah, Browns are good. They're a solid team. This whole division stuff sucks for the Bengals, with Joe Burrow going out. But yeah, let's move on. I don't want to keep talking about this one.
Yeah, Raiders Dolphins.
It was tough. Raiders Dolphins. Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I think everybody picked them. Raiders. I don't know.
Game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, though.
Yeah, I mean,
20-13.
Dolphins aren't that great. I don't think they beat everybody, but everybody they beat's not that good. Raiders fall to 5-6.
Yep.
Tough loss for them. Tua had a good game, 28-39, 325 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyreek he's tearing it up every week in fantasy. I'm pretty sure 10 receptions, 146 yards. He's always on my week NFL stats leaders. He's always like in the top in receptions and yards.
Yeah.
And then Aiden O'Connell, not bad for the Raiders though. I'm surprised on that one. 24-41, 271 yards, 1 touchdown. Biggest thing that hurt him though was 3 interceptions. So you can't have them INTs if you win football games. So a closer game than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I had Dolphins a lot higher than that, but hey, they got the win. They moved to 7-3.
They did. Anytime the Raiders lose is a good day for Broncos Nation, so I like it. The Bears Lions came back and shut down Justin Fields' great game, and the Lions should have lost that game. The Lions should have got beat by the Bears, and they came back and won that game.
Should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they scored 17 in the fourth. I think they held the Bears to 6 in the fourth, so the Bears choked that one up. To win it out. I mean, Lions improved to 8-2. Starting to look very well rounded too. That defense is very good.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, like you mentioned earlier, 169 passing yards, 104 rush yards on the ground. Come get them black and yellow colors, boy. I love that
because they're going to be up. They're going to be up there in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. So
yeah, that'd be nice.
And the game it's over now. Probably going to be over because I think the Eagles can probably nail this out, can't they?
They should be able to.
Eagles Chiefs
minute 29 left. Yep.
Eagles Chiefs up 21-17.
Both picked the Eagles. I like that. By the way, I didn't get picks for NFL this week. I missed everything this week, so I'm out on that. But
Chris is dominating that anyway.
Yeah, I was 200 games in pretty much, and forgot to do last week. So, way to go, right? Yeah. All right, man. Let's bounce around the sports.
Yeah, let's move down to the MLB, man. Latest signings, anything you seen today, anything you want to throw out there?
Not necessarily today, but just a couple key signings that I saw. Aaron Nola, obviously it's a big one. He's staying with Philly. He signed a 7-year, $172 million contract. Phillies also, I read today, are going to pursue Yamamoto. Did I say that right?
I like it.
Close enough. And then Yankees are making room for a signing. I saw they let some relievers go. They let Abreu and Trevino go, and they also let Jake Powers go to the Brewers yesterday for some farm system guys coming up there. So they're definitely making room for something. I don't know what yet, but they're cleaning the house a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. I know you had some notes too.
Yeah.
So I'll let you get into your picks there.
Yeah, the Braves, they did a lot of the same thing the Yankees done. They ditched a lot of cap. Apparently, there's rumors that Anthopoulos is going to do some really big things, big moves. They did speak with Nola and his agent and everything, and they actually were very close to signing a deal. And Philadelphia came in last minute and gave him the deal that he couldn't pass up. They were actually they was actually in Atlanta when he confirmed the deal with Philly. They're saying the Braves are now in on Sonny Gray. They're also talking about them getting Blake Snell. And they're also talking about Ohtani coming there as well. But if Ohtani comes, they've already said that he would play outfield. He will not be a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves.
I get that.
I did read today's speak.
By the way, just don't mean to interrupt you, but the Eagles did just win.
The Eagles just won. I just seen a pop-up final. I did see today that Ohtani's representative said whoever he does go have face-to-face interviews with, that it better not leak that he has been there or talked to that team, because if it does, he will not sign with that team. He wants to have no media attention to where he's at, where he's located. He wants to go about it and be able to just do it and do it at his own time. So they said if a team does leak it, that will be a strike against them, and he will not sign with that team.
Wow, love it. That's the way it should be.
I did see.
I mean, it should be his decision. No outside influence, no outside noise. Mm-hmm. I like that.
I did see another big one, another good pitcher that's out there, Brandon Woodruff. The Brewers did non-tender him, so that's another big pitcher out there that some teams could go get a good second, third rotation guy. Yamamoto, his negotiations he's open now. He's been open through the Japanese leagues. They can start negotiations with him at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and they have until January 4th at 4 p.m. to have him signed. If not, he goes back to Japan. So
he's coming over. He's getting signed.
That'll be interesting to see where he goes. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Was there any other things outside of Nola? The Braves signed a pitcher today out of the Angels to a 3-year deal. I think that's all right now. It's kind of quiet today in MLB. There wasn't much going on. To revert back, if you don't know, this was the first time ever MVP awards were handed out, and both leagues had unanimous MVP winners. Ronald Acuna won in the National League. Shohei Ohtani won his second MVP award in 3 years. In the American League, both got 30 votes for all 30 first-place votes. First time in Major League history that happened.
Hey, shout out to the Angels. 5 MVPs in the past, 13 years and 1 playoff appearance. Shout out to them. 5 MVPs and 1 playoff appearance.
Good job,
guys.
Good job.
Way to build that team, guys.
Way to go, guys. Speaking of teams that are building, that are moving, the A's, they did get approved by the owners. They are moving to Las Vegas, but they're homeless for the next 3 years. They have to play in Oakland. They will continue to play games in Oakland. They will share the Oracle Park with the San Francisco Giants, and they will play at some community college in Nevada for some of their other games. So they're homeless for 3 years. Other than that, the last thing I kind of want to run about with MLB, just something's a little fun here. You're all MLB team
this year, right?
Yep, this year, and that could be it's all the position players, all the leagues combined. It doesn't matter who, so you can have Aaron Judge and Acuna in the outfield if you want to. Who do you got? Gotcha. We'll start at catcher. Who's your catcher?
Catcher. Yep. Let me come back to catcher.
Come back to catcher.
I have to really think on that.
I'm gonna give you my catcher, JT Realmuto.
Realmuto,
yep.
Yeah. He's really good.
Who's your first baseman?
Freddie Freeman.
I was going to go Matt Olson.
Okay, that's the top 2.
Who is your second baseman?
Albies.
Albies? Albies your second baseman?
Mm-hmm.
Come back.
That's tough.
I'm going to come back to that one.
Really?
Yep.
You're not going to pick Ozzy?
Let's go back to that one. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Who's your shortstop?
Corey Seager.
Corey Seager's mine too.
Wow, look at us. I was going to pick Derek Jeter, but...
All right, who's your third baseman?
Who's
your third baseman?
My boy, Austin Riley.
Nolan Arenado.
Oh, Arenado. I forgot about Arenado.
Who is your left fielder? Or just say outfielder. You do 3 outfielders. It don't matter where they're at.
All right, left, Juan Soto. Center, Mike Trout. Right field, Acuna. I did not pick Judge, which is really tough.
I'm going to do 3 outfielders. Ronald Acuna Jr., Corbin Carroll.
Ooh. Even though they play same position, so you put one in left, one in right.
It don't matter. I'm just doing. You can do 3 outfielders. It's 3.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
And man, I don't know. Mookie Betts.
Okay, I like that. Skip it on Mike Trout. I like it.
Yep, skipping on Mike Trout. In case they held it for me.
Yeah, I got you.
If I'm going to go second baseman,
outfield's tough. Outfield's very tough.
Go back to second base.
Yeah.
I really like Marcus Semien. But I'll go Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy had a better season.
Yeah. And who's your pitcher? Who you putting on the mound?
Jarrett Cole, hands down. Best pitcher in the league. Yeah, he was. He was.
I'll put Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole will be my pitcher. Yeah. And who's your DH?
DH? Mm-hmm. Do I have to pick any of them?
Mm-hmm. You can pick anybody.
Like an official DH? You
can pick anybody. You can put Kyle Schwarber there if you want to. I don't care.
Give me Judge.
Shohei Ohtani.
Give me Judge. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's pretty good. Yeah. We didn't even have Ohtani in this.
I did.
Oh, I did. Give me Aaron Judge.
All right. NBA. What we got going on in the NBA?
Luka didn't play last night. He had a sore knee.
Luka, do better, man.
They end up losing to the Kings. Sacramento beat them pretty big. Sacramento's very good. I like seeing that team. They're fun to watch. James Harden made history the other night with the Clippers, moving to 19th all time in assists ahead of Tony Parker.
Kings.
All right.
Kings. They're going for Zach LaVine.
Oh, you're just going to go straight into that?
I seen it. It popped up. They're trying to get him. But, yeah, Kings.
How about Philly? Philly with Zach LaVine. Anything going on there?
I don't see it happening.
That's a good pickup. They can swing it. They can swing it now with James Harden cap gone. So
True.
I thought Lakers maybe, but Lakers would have to give up a lot, and they'd have to give up Russell and a couple other guys too. And I just don't think it's worth it, honestly. I think they want Caruso back too.
Yeah.
Caruso's really good in LA. But yeah, I just don't see him going back to LA. But
see that.
Or sorry, he never did go to LA. But
right.
I just don't see him going to LA. I had Philly wrote down as who I picked.
Okay.
It just makes sense. He'd be a good fit at Philly.
Speaking of the Kings, they lost tonight 129-93 to the Pelicans. Timberwolves beat the Knicks 117-100. The Hornets beat the Celtics 121-118 in overtime.
Whoa. How'd LaMelo Ball do in that game? He's been balling out.
LaMelo Ball had a typical Ball game. He had no points in that game. Played 41 minutes, had 16 turnovers, and committed 5 fouls.
You're joking.
I am absolutely joking. He had 30.
I'm about to say
he had 36 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls. He was +3 and a plus negative.
Great player.
Their center, Mark Williams, he probably the player of the game. He was +33 in this game. He had 18 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, and
double.
They played everybody in that game except for Bogarite, Nick Smith Jr., and one more player. But, yeah, it was overtime. They forced overtime. The Hornets won the fourth quarter, and it went to overtime, and they won by 3. Tatum finished with 45 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 foul.
Boston's good. Boston's very good.
Yeah, that's the 3rd loss on the year.
I'm surprised they lost, honestly. I think they're still first in the East, if I'm not mistaken.
And then the Nuggets beat the Pistons 107-103.
Nuggets very good too.
Yes, and as far as the standings, yes, the Celtics are tied with the 76ers the Celtics are 11-3. The
Bucks second.
The 76ers are second at 10-3. The Bucks are 10-4.
10-4.
The Bucks won their last game.
Bucks coming alive. They're looking pretty good here. These last 4.
They won their last game. I think they needed to move on from Damian Lillard. I think they need to trade Damian Lillard.
Take care. Mm-hmm. Trade him. They just got him. That's not happening.
Yep.
Dame's fine.
And
this guy
I'm just messing with y'all. I just want to see you get riled up.
They play in February. They play in Charlotte, so just throwing that out there.
I just want to see you get riled up. Who do you cheer for in that game?
You know, like my boy Dame. I'm going to cheer for Dame.
Oh, you're not cheering for the Balls?
It's in Charlotte.
I know you're not going to cheer for the Balls.
Oh, LaMelo Ball. I cheer for LaMelo, but let's just be honest. He's not going to do anything in Charlotte. He'll need to get traded to a big organization. I mean, look what Dame's had to do.
Yeah.
Couldn't do nothing in Portland.
He did win an MVP in Portland.
He did. And he also led him to the playoffs, 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
Yep.
Had a little bit of help with McCollum, but I don't want to get into that. But yeah, Dame time.
We've talked about it.
Love me some Dame.
He just needs to stop turning the basketball over and needs to get healthy. That's what Damian needs to do this year. But let's talk about MVP.
Hater.
I'm not a hater. Love Dame.
Hater.
Weber State, baby. Weber State. All the way back to Weber State. We led in the Sweet 16.
He don't even like Dame, guys.
I was the one that told you to like Dame.
God, I've liked Dame for a long
time.
No,
you haven't.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Who's your MVP right now?
Jokic.
Jason Tatum.
30 points. Oh, bold take. Jokic averaged 30 points per game, 13.9 rebounds, and 8.4 assists. The dude's almost a triple-double. He's good. I like Tatum. That's a good pick.
I like Tatum.
Tatum's having a very good year so far.
Yep, I like Tatum. And Zach LaVine, we kind of talked about that. I do think he ends up with the Kings.
God, that'd be a good
You got
pickup.
that right.
Surprised they can swing that, but they probably can because all their players are super young.
Yep, they got the depth. They got the capital to do it. And not
Fox is very good on the team. He's still on that team, right?
yeah, DeAndre Fox.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yep.
Even though he went to Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, I think half that team's Kentucky players.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be a fun team to go watch if you want to see somebody different.
Would be a fun team to watch. Yeah, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 Kentucky players.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Calipari.
Yeah, he can recruit. All right, man.
He can.
Final thoughts. What do you got?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You know,
Hey, what's your favorite meal? What's your favorite thing out of Thanksgiving? What's the one thing that you go for as soon as Thanksgiving? Food's on the table. It's time to dish up. What's the first thing you put on your plate?
rolls. Gotta find me a good homemade roll, man.
Home.
What about you?
Deviled eggs.
Oh, he got them deviled
Love
eggs.
them deviled eggs, man.
Yeah, him and deviled eggs. Either.
Love them deviled eggs. But I like the rolls too. I know what you mean. A nice hot steaming roll with a little bit of butter on it.
Good.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Can really get loaded up my carbs. You know, I could pick dishes all day, but I love Thanksgiving. Thankful for this podcast. Thankful that we get to do it. Thankful for our listeners, our viewers, everybody who's commented. Just checked in with us, even out in public. Like I run into people and they're like, "Hey, I'm digging the pod," or "Hey, I know you from that podcast," or something stupid like that. So, just really appreciate it, guys. It really does mean a lot to us, and we're just thankful to be doing this.
Man.
So that's my final thoughts.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Same as him. Thankful for all this. Thankful for my family. Thankful for my health. Thankful for.
We're going to get personal.
Hey,
I was just doing
hey, man. I'm thankful for the podcast. Thankful for you, man. I'm thankful for the friendships I have. It's been 2023 has been a good year. Excited for Thanksgiving. It's probably my second favorite holiday behind 4th of July. I'm excited.
Whoa, 4th of July. Nice.
Yeah,
I like
4th of
it.
July is number one, America, baby. Grilling out in America.
America, baby.
And
America,
I
baby.
like Thanksgiving because it's about food. And Christmas has turned into more materialistic things. So,
yeah.
But we've got away from the real meaning of some of this stuff. But that's nor here nor there. Guys, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's safe. If you're traveling, please be safe. If you're traveling, listen to us. And then if you got family in the vehicle, tell them to listen to us and tell them to subscribe, like, follow everything. And then when you see that long lost cousin you don't want to talk to, tell them to listen to the podcast. Tell them to follow, and then you just get all your Thanksgiving people to follow, and then we will appreciate it. But no, guys, y'all have a great Thanksgiving. This is the end of episode 13. I am getting sleepy.
Same.
2 more.
Very tired. 11:33 p.m. here, folks. I mean, it's a long day for two dads.
Yeah.
So,
and I got to be at the gym at 6 in the morning. So, woo, let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, but
Next Level Fitness Club.
Next Level Fitness. But all right, man, I'm out. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. See y'all on the flippity flip.
See y'all Sunday. Bye.